The Night in the Forest. So, I used to hear a ton of stories about ghosts and also watch a lot of horror movies. But since I had never experienced any ghost encounters, I was, eh. These ghost stuff are created by humans themselves to make money making movies about it, and all other serials featuring ghost hunters. Okay, let's get to the story. One day, me and my two friends visited this spooky forest. Not nearby, but we managed to get there, just to check it out as we love the natural atmosphere. You know, giving my lungs some adrenaline of fresh air. The time we reached there was about 7 p.m., when it was already getting dark. And just to let you know, there's no light source in the forest except the entrance-exit of the forest area, so it was much darker than we expected. My friend had his Apple and I had my tablet with dual flash, so we decided to use them to at least see each other. An hour passed by having conversation and smoking cigarettes. We were sitting under a tree as it was thick enough for all of us to lay on our backs on and sit and relax. We were having a good time until we started hearing a sound, like two rocks are smashing into each other, or one rock smashing into the ground again and again. We were pretty confused. I told my friends that it must be a cat trying to climb a tree, making the weak branches fall off, making it sound like the rock thing. But it didn't stop for like 3 or 4 minutes, though. Now, after some minutes, it stopped for a while, and we were still assuming it was an animal doing these sounds. Things went silent for 5 minutes. We started our conversation about this forest's atmosphere being so windy and cold. Then, apparently, a rock fell on my friend's head. Wonder how a rock can be up there on the tree. Just in 4 to 5 seconds, a big branch from the tree fell on my lap, scaring the shit out of me. And once again, my friend felt like water drops falling on his neck from up the tree. How is there still a chance of water dropping down from a tree when the rainy season was already over 2 months ago? This night was clearly not our lucky night, as we heard the same sound of the rock smash again, but now it sounds like it's getting closer. Immediately, without any options to choose, we decided to run out from the forest as quick as we could. We left the forest safe and sound and headed to our homes. After a few days of the incident, one of our friends posted a news story about the same forest. There was a huge tower, just like a lighthouse, as said by the post. We saw the tower from a distance, but didn't get closer as it was a rocky area. There is a chance if one of us falls off the small cliff. So, in the post, a boy was passing by the tower. The first thing he saw was a person, but only his head. The post also said the police couldn't find the body, but just the head of the man, which was already found by the same person who saw it while passing by. The question is, what happened to this guy? How in the world can this ever happen to someone? It can be the drug addicts who made this forest to get high with brown sugar, or the guy is a drug addict getting his head torn off by someone. And the weird experience we had a few days ago in the same forest, was this the same guy doing it after death? My questions are yet to be answered, and I never visited that forest again. And neither did anyone else. Creepy woods. Okay, so I don't really know how to start this story off, but it just happened like an hour ago, and I'm still spooked. So, a bit of a preface. Me and my friend are home alone right now. I have been for a few hours. Every time he comes over, we go to the woods by my house, and it's normally uneventful, with some throwing rocks and breaking trees and stuff. Harmless fun. But this time, something else happened. Like I said, we're home alone, and have been for a while, and while this happened, we were obviously home alone. We went outside to go to the woods, and the trip there was uneventful. But once we got there, something was off. Everything was dark. Tons of trees had been knocked down. The entire place was not like I remember it being. We kept going in, still having our usual harmless fun, and at one point my friend turned to me and said, "We should go back." I looked at my phone and decided it had only been 30 minutes, and so we might as well stay longer, 'cause it'll be a few hours until anyone would want us to be home. We continued on, finding a few strange things, like an old crushed Mountain Dew can, probably 10-20 years old, and a toy boat which had been completely destroyed by the wind and water and other things, and was probably even older than the can. Our plan was to go further than I had ever been into the woods, which isn't very hard for us because I've barely been that deep. After walking for a while, we came to a landmark I knew of that marked about the deepest I've ever been. A while ago, when I was going far in, I came upon a bridge built on a log that fell over a river in the middle of the woods. However, one thing was different. There was something sitting on top of it. Whatever was on it was small and resembled the head of an animal. When we got closer and got a good view of it, it was a deer skull, pearly white and clean, sitting on the bridge, with no clue as to who put it there, and where the rest of it was. Behind the river there was a huge hill and a creepy small house on it, and while we were looking around, I heard a creak or some other high-pitched noise from up towards it. Freaked out, we began to run, and from behind me I could hear my friend scream. I hear him running behind me. We both keep running, and once we reach the edge of the woods, we step onto the road. I asked him why he screamed, and he said he heard footsteps next to him. We quickly made our way home, and when we got there, the garage door was open. Not knowing if it was left open or not, we ran inside, locking the door, checking the house, and turning on the alarm. Now we're sitting here, and by the time I finish this, it's nearly 2 hours since, and I still can't shake the fear of that eerie woods from me. And if you would like more evidence that this happened, ask my friend. Something in the woods. I guess I'll start with a background. I'm a 33-year-old female, but this story takes place when I was a teenager, living in a suburb of Chicago. The village I lived in was quiet and middle class. We lived like a mile from the police station, and the worst crimes we had was a murder or two and a robbery. Once in a blue moon, 99% of the time, boring and more boring. Unless you had a car, you were stuck just walking around the park at night with your friends. Kind of boring. Anyway, one night, my girlfriend and I decided to go hang out at a park with some guys at like midnight. The night was a bit windy and had a full moon. I even got a kiss that night from the boy I liked. But the night wasn't just fun and hanging out late. There's a deep forest in the park with a stream with a playground right next to it. Same playground we went to, with swings and a jungle gym. There's 2 bridges, one of wood, the one everyone uses, and one bridge made of rocks. It's rarely used because it is deeper in the forest, over the stream, connecting the 2 halves of the forest park area. I'll get to the rock bridge in a minute. We hung around on the swings and chatted and just spent the evening together. I'm sitting and just looking around, talking and enjoying the peace and quiet and the moonlight. I have a full view of the forest and the dip of earth that I know leads to the stream. I see something moving over that dip of earth, some dark shape. It looked like it was crawling out of the forest, an arm, then another. It pulls itself out of the ditch. A figure darker than the surrounding forest. And I'm sitting there frozen. I think I'm seeing things. It just kind of lays there on the ground, but doesn't move. Flash of fear grips me. What if it comes this way? I look to my friends and no one notices anything. I look back and it's gone. Did it go back or go somewhere? I really want to get out of there. Then one friend asks, "Did you guys hear about the urban legend of the rock bridge over the stream? Apparently some kids or something played on the bridge and fell over and died. What a thing to say after what I saw." But I didn't ask anyone anything, and just pretended I didn't see anything. But the experience stuck with me. I never talked about it because it must have been my imagination. Things like that happen only in scary movies, right? But I rarely went to that park after that. And, Black Thing, if you are real, I hope we never meet again. Who knows what would have happened if you saw me the same time I saw you. A little background story. I'm Tessa. I'm 14. I live in Minnesota, and I go to this one campground up north, in the kind of middle of nowhere. I've gone to that campground for 11 years, and still go there to this day. It's been open for only a year or 2 before I started going. My mom is really popular there. We know everyone. They always are having a party or staying up till 1 o'clock, drunk as fuck. This particular night haunts me forever. Me and my friend Chloe were best friends. She was the shy brunette and I was the wild blonde. She always has this thing where she never liked sleepovers. This one night, me and her planned on having a sleepover in a tent outside her actual camper. Our parents did not stay out late that one night for some reason. We had a fire and did regular camping things. It was about 1 when we decided to go in the shower house with showers and bathrooms. It was one of the best campgrounds in North America. In fact, not my opinion actually. We were in the shower house planning to just hang out because shower house in the lodge is the only place that has Wi-Fi. My data doesn't work because it's in the middle of nowhere. So we plan on staying there till 3 a.m. So we're there about 2 a.m. and we need chargers. We go to her camper and grab our chargers, and on our way back we were outside the door for some fresh air before we go inside. Chloe is on her phone, and around the corner behind her is an old guy, or maybe a woman. Looks to be 100 years old, and is walking a rat. Looks like one at least. I scream and tell her what I see, and the guy has a crazy smile on him. We run as fast as our legs let us, and about 2 steps till we get inside, I start crying because I'm so scared, and she's freaking out because she does not know what was just behind her back. We plug in our chargers and hesitate to call either of our parents. We feel like they would get really mad at us and not believe us, and we were out till 3 a.m. We're not even supposed to be up past 1 on that night, so now we're freaking the fuck out and ready to just bust out the door. We've been in there for an hour at this point, past the time we saw the creepy old man. We hesitate to open the door, but end up opening the door. I'm thinking that we're gonna die, and we run out, and as I turn around, I see the creepy old man with something that looks like a knife in his right hand, around the corner where we almost got stabbed. To this day, we almost always remember this night. P.S. Our parents believed us and were not mad at us for calling them. The woods have eyes. I bet there's a lot of readers that may love to go out camping like I do, right? Well, the story I'm about to tell you changed my way of camping forever. It started on a hot summer with some friends on a camping trip in the woods of Florida. Yes, you can camp in Florida also, folks. Anywho, we got to our destination to camp as we're still on the road to the site. We came across an entrance that was blocked off saying, "Stay away, no trespassing." I've pointed out to my friends that the entrance and what a mistake that was, because they are the most curious people I've known. You tell them not to go there and they'll go anyway. So we arrived at our destination, and as soon as we got off the truck, they insisted we investigate the enclosed area, and of course wanted me to tag along. I insisted not to, but they convinced me it'll be fun and exciting, so I thought, to my luck, they wanted to go, and after dusk, yay. Here we are walking on the dirt road from our site to the closed road and hiked in. All I've noticed once entering the area were the trees. They seemed dry and white, like someone just sucked the life out of it. We kept walking and saw an abandoned campsite. We thought there could be some goods we can take back to our camp, but there's nothing to take. Suddenly, we hear a deep voice saying, "Get out now." We looked around, scared, and couldn't see anything in the darkness. We obviously had a flashlight with us, but we're no good if we can't see the idiot trying to scare us. So we tried to backtrack to our campsite and realized we're walking in circles, lost. I was like, oh hell nah. I'm getting lost with these idiots, man. But yeah, I did. Then another voice said, we warned you. Damn, give me a chance to get out. We are lost here, hello. Instead of giving us a damn warning, why don't you be useful and guide us out, you fool? After I shouted that, only silence crept the night. Disappointed, we kept on walking. It seemed like hours. Walked and going nowhere. There were 5 of us in the group and noticed that one of my friends went missing. We looked all over the place and no sign of him. We shouted his name and no answer. We couldn't explain how he disappeared from us, but he did. And one of the guys speaks out and says that he heard that people go missing from this area and never get seen again. Then I yelled at him, telling him, don't you think you should have told us that shit before trespassing in this area, knowing the fact people go missing, you ass? I'm sorry. I thought it was just some fake-ass story to keep people out, he said. When I was done arguing with him, I noticed again that someone else went missing. Now we're down to 3 from 5. And I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, this reminds me of Predator. We're being hunted, y'all. Watch out for the red light, man. It's a laser. Then we heard another voice said, you can't escape from us. Chills came down my spine when I heard that and kept on walking on the dirt road that was presumably thought was the path, but when we kept following it, there was a dead end with those trees in the way. Ugly, white, dried up trees. Looking carefully at a tree and told the guys I saw something move, and when I looked closer, it opened its eyes. I jumped and screamed like a bitch when I saw that and asked the guys, did you see that? And they replied yes. We ran from it to the deserted campsite that was the only thing we can get to and figured out the problem were the damn trees. It seemed that they were alive for some reason. Didn't care how or why. I just wanted to get out of that area ASAP. And to top it off, it was getting colder as the night went on. Luckily, I had some matches to start a fire. As soon as I light the match, a loud scream from all around saying, turn it off! So we came to the conclusion that these things, or trees, don't like fire at all. So I thought, oh, your asses are so fucked now, bitches. I grabbed a lot of sticks from the bonfire where the old camping site was and lit them up. Wow. The screams that came after we lit the wood on fire. It was like being in a stadium full of demons, screaming in agony. And I screamed back saying, bitch, please. I haven't even touched you yet. We figured out since we have this fire, we should walk back on the dirt road and see if those trees would move, or we can just burn them for fun then. As we walked towards the dead end, the path was open. We started to run out until exiting the area completely. I know for a fact that no one other than us who has witnessed this event would ever believe us, but I'm glad to be alive and escaped with the 2 remaining friends. We mourned for the lost ones for a while and moved on. Please, if an area says don't enter, don't fucking enter. There's a damn reason it's there in the first place.